He knew I liked him. He used it. And the whole time, he was going home to her while I was signing both of their paychecks, while I was fighting for both of their careers. I was the last person in that office to know, and the first one to make sure they both paid for it. My name is Diana, Marketing Director, Chicago, 6 years at the same firm. 4 of those years building a team I was genuinely proud of. I hired Tyler first, fresh out of grad school. Smart, driven, the kind of person who stayed late not because anyone asked, but because he actually cared. I mentored him, pushed for his first promotion, went to bat for him when leadership wanted to cut his role during a restructure. I want to be honest about something. I liked Tyler, not just professionally. There was something about the way he carried himself. Thoughtful, attentive, always knowing exactly what to say in a meeting. I never acted on it. I was his boss. But the feeling was there, and I think somewhere deep down, he knew it. Looking back, I think he counted on it. I hired Priscilla 8 months later, referred by a colleague. Sharp instincts, great with clients, warm personality that balanced out the intensity of the rest of the team. I trusted her with our biggest accounts within her first year. They were my 2 best people. Everyone in the office knew it. What everyone in the office also knew, that I found out much later, was that Tyler and Priscilla had been together for over a year, seeing each other, hiding it, from HR, from leadership, from me. And that was just the beginning of what they were hiding. The first thing I noticed was the energy shift in the room. Team meetings started feeling different. Little looks between them I couldn't quite read. Inside jokes I wasn't part of. Tyler started pushing back on decisions he would never have questioned before. Not aggressively, just enough. Priscilla started copying him on emails she used to send directly to me. But Tyler kept being Tyler with me. Attentive, warm, staying after meetings to ask how I was doing. Small things, thoughtful things. The kind of things that made me think, maybe I was reading the room wrong. Maybe everything was fine. I told myself I was being paranoid. Then a client called me directly. One of our biggest accounts said they had received a proposal from a competing firm that contained details only someone on my team would know. Pricing structures, strategy documents, internal timelines we hadn't made public. I went cold. I pulled our access logs quietly, asked our IT director to run an audit without telling anyone why. And what came back was a pattern so clear it made me physically sick. Over a period of 7 months, confidential documents had been accessed, copied, and forwarded from internal accounts to external ones. Both Tyler and Priscilla. They had been feeding our competitor's team, together, while collecting paychecks I had personally approved, while Tyler was having quiet conversations with me after meetings, keeping me warm, keeping me trusting, keeping me blind. He was not interested in me. He was managing me, and I had let him. I want to be honest about what happened next, because I think a lot of these stories skip this part, the part that isn't pretty or powerful or strategic. That night, I sat in my car in the parking garage. Engine off, lights off, blazer still on, phone in my hand, and I just stayed there, in the dark, alone. I could not call anyone. I could not explain it yet. I could not even fully feel it yet. It was too big and too close and too real all at once. Because this was not just professional betrayal. Tyler had seen something in me, something personal, something I had never said out loud. And he had used it, deliberately, carefully. For 7 months, he had kept me close enough to stay blind. And I had let him because I wanted to believe the warmth was real. That was the part that broke me the most. Not the documents, not the competitor. The fact that I had been managed by someone I trusted, by someone I felt something for, and I had never once seen it coming. The weeks after that were the hardest. I went to work every day and sat across from both of them and said good morning and ran my meetings and smiled at clients. And then I came home and fell apart. Every single night. I stopped sleeping properly. I lost weight I wasn't trying to lose. I called my sister in Miami at 2 a.m. more times than I can count. I saw a therapist for the first time in my life. And I am grateful I did because I do not think I would have gotten through it without her. It took me almost 6 weeks to feel like myself again. 6 weeks of showing up and falling apart and showing up again. 6 weeks before something in me finally settled and went quiet and cold. And when it did, I got to work. I did not move fast. That was the first decision. I spent 2 weeks building a case so clean, it could have walked itself into a courtroom. Every access log, every forwarded document, every external email address, every timestamp. I worked with our IT director and our legal team, quietly, carefully, with no announcement and no warning. I documented the client impact. I quantified the financial damage to the firm. I prepared a full report, 43 pages, that left absolutely no room for interpretation or denial. And then I did something most people in my position would not think to do. I went above my own leadership, straight to the board. Not because I wanted drama, because I wanted it done right. I wanted it on record. I wanted it to follow both of them, professionally, for the rest of their careers. This kind of betrayal, where you have to keep showing up every single day, we've seen it before on this channel. Link in the description. But stay with me, because what the board did next, nobody saw it coming. The board called an emergency meeting on a Thursday morning. Tyler and Priscilla were both summoned separately, told it was a routine leadership review. They walked in confident. They walked out, escorted by HR. Both terminated, same day, same hour. The case was referred to the firm's legal team for civil action. The client damage alone was significant enough to pursue. Both of them were named. Both of their professional references at the firm, references they had been counting on for future roles, were flagged in their HR files. Chicago marketing is a small world. Word travels. I did not say a single thing publicly. I did not post. I did not call anyone. I did not send a single text to a mutual contact. I did not need to. Within 3 weeks of their termination, I received 2 separate messages from firms they had applied to, asking if I could speak to their performance and character. I responded to both. Professionally, factually, completely. I did not lie. I did not exaggerate. I just told the truth. All of it. Neither of them got those jobs. I rebuilt the team, slowly and deliberately, with different eyes this time, more careful, more boundaried, not less warm, but more discerning about where I put my trust. The client we almost lost came back. We won 2 new accounts in the quarter after. The team we built in the months that followed was quieter, steadier, better. I still see my therapist. Not because I am broken, because I am not, but because what I went through taught me that showing up for yourself the way you show up for everyone else is not weakness. It is the whole point. I think about those 6 weeks a lot, the falling apart part. And I want to say something to anyone watching this who is in that part right now. The part where you are still going to work and still functioning, but coming home to nothing but exhaustion and grief and confusion. That part is not failure. That part is you surviving something real. You are allowed to take the weeks you need. You are allowed to fall apart before you get cold. You are allowed to be human before you become strategic. The plan can wait. You cannot. Our next story on Wounded Truth, he got down on one knee on a Saturday. She said yes. She cried. She called her mom. She sent photos to every person she loved. And then Sunday morning, she found found a name in his phone she had never heard before. One name that unraveled everything. That story is coming, and it starts with a ring. Subscribe to Wounded Truth. Like this video. Drop a comment. What moment hit you hardest? See you in the next story.